2 minutes and we're starting, so if everybody wants to get a drink and find a seat, there are plenty of seats at the front, but starting in 2 minutes. Good evening, good evening, good evening. If you can find a seat, take one. Whilst everybody does, good evening and welcome to the RTS Northwest Student Awards. My name is Richard Frediani. I'm the chair of the RTS Student Awards in the Northwest. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. There are no planned fire alarms and no drills, etc. Therefore, if there is a fire alarm, please do react safely and accordingly and follow the exits out. We will be doing 6 awards tonight, and we'll be coming to those shortly. But just before we do begin, I'd encourage everybody tonight, because I know there are plenty of people who have got friends, families, fellow students, colleagues at universities and colleges. So we are streaming this event live on Facebook. So if you do have a mobile phone, can I really encourage you to go to facebook.com/RTS Northwest, facebook.com/RTS Northwest, where the event is being streamed live. So you can share that now on your own Facebook site, and you can tell your parents, loved ones, families who can't be here from far and wide that they too can watch the event as it happens and see those who've been successful, as well as those who can celebrate the simple fact that they've earned a very well-deserved nomination. We're also obviously sharing the event on Twitter, and the hashtag is RTS Northwest, or RTSNW. So please do share comments, successes, thoughts, celebrations, etc. on Twitter and on Facebook, because it really does make it an event in which everybody can be involved. As I say, there are 6 awards that will take place this evening, and Roger Johnson, the host of BBC Northwest Tonight, and who regularly presents BBC Breakfast at the weekends, will be emceeing that part of the evening. He'll be darting across from Media City, where he has just finished presenting Northwest Tonight. But before that, I'm delighted that, as ever, we have some special guests who can join us for the early part of the evening and share some of their own thoughts and their own careers and advice on tips and what they've done. There are 2 guests this evening. Both of them I'm sure you will know very well. Firstly, we have Jack P. Shepherd, who appears in Coronation Street, better known as David Platt, has been in there an incredible 17 years, as well as Kieran Richardson, who plays Steve Hay in Hollyoaks, which regularly tops the E4 charts and is on at 6:30 in the evening on Channel 4. They will be interviewed by Alan Toner from Line Pictures, so if I can welcome them to the stage to kick off this evening's RTS Northwest Student Awards.
Well, hello there. There's one way to start an awards, do you, I reckon. I'm very lucky. I have worked with Jack. I've also worked with Kieran and know the guys very, very well. How long have you been on television for, and how long have you been in Corrie and Hollyoaks?
Nearly 20 years on
Yeah.
TV, something like that.
12. I'm only a baby.
Only a baby compared to Jack. You guys have done some amazing storylines that we'll look into and talk about. Let's just see a few clips from over the years from the guys, just to show you what we're talking about.
All right.
All
Who's
right.
your first scene? Who's your first scene?
Those your new jeans?
Saw this wicked thing on the Discovery Channel
Yeah?
about the sun. Do you know how hot it is?
No?
Well hot.
Is it?
Do you want to get in?
Whatever.
Yeah? It doesn't pay to get too familiar with the staff straight off. Trust me.
Yeah, I know, but you don't hang out with Reese like this, do you? Or Jackie? Well, Jackie's a bit different because you and her were like,
Just kiss me. What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry.
Go.
You take my kids away from me, and then you rub my nose in it. You patronise me and punish me, and you and Riot get away with it. Wait a minute. Do you know what? I hate you so much right now that I wish you was dead. I hate you that much! That I wish that you was dead!
I heard everything you said to cold. Quick, go to your room.
Thanks ever so much.
They do great Sunday lunches here.
They do chips.
Oh yeah, great chips. 2 cokes when you're ready, Betty love.
You what?
These 2 cars in trouble already?
Oh yeah, whatever he's having.
I'll have a pint if you're buying, please, mate.
This place is going to the dogs.
Starting young these days, eh?
You alright? Shame you're not still seeing that girl with the paper around. You could bring her in for a drink now, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, I don't need to. I've already got a girlfriend.
Oh, well, for how long?
Mum, is that all the milk?
Yeah, well, I didn't know it went last.
Yeah, you could have looked in the fridge.
Yeah, well, you could have toast.
You sit down, the pair of you. David, get changed. You're going to be late for school.
I'm not going.
We are not going through all that again.
Don't get stressed. I just need a break, okay?
David!
You're being very confrontational, Mother.
Just hit him.
I will not hit him!
Yeah, I will.
Ow! What was that for?
Yeah, well, come on.
Will you just pack it in, the pair of
Mum,
you?
there's no point in talking to him.
David, you're going to school.
Right, well, if you want to believe that, then you can.
Will you just leave it, the pair of you?
I'm scared
Please.
of you when you
Right!
Yeah.
Time out! If you two will stop battering each other for 2 minutes, I will go and get some more milk. Right!
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 Like this.
I want to say it while I still can. You tell the kids that I love them. I'm going to miss them so much. I had so much to be proud of, but them too. At least I did something right, yeah? You're going to be the great dad you always was. And you're going to carry on for them. You're going to carry on for us, do you promise me?
Yeah, I do, but I don't need to, all right? The kids need you.
If they had to lose one of us, I'm glad it was me. You were always better, right? Will you tell them that I tried? and whatever mistakes that I've made, make sure you tell them that I never, ever stop loving them. Okay?
You're not going to leave us.
No, babe. No, I'm not. Not ever.
Both 2 amazing actors. I think you two will both agree. And you haven't changed the bets.
I started off with straight hair and somehow ended up with a perm.
My haircuts were amazing.
Yeah. Jack got taller, did he? Get taller?
No.
No?
Definitely not.
I don't know what happened in that time capsule. So what made you both get into acting in the first place?
I think for me, I went as being 11 years old, and there was a local one in Manchester at David Johnson's, and I used to go there, and there's a lot of people actually in my class that ended up in Coronation Street. So there was Alan Helsel, who plays Tyrone, Sarah Lou, she went to mine as well. There was quite Sammy Agadi went, and all these people were getting jobs, and I was like, why am I not getting anything? And from watching them clips at the beginning, now I understand why, because I was terrible. And then I kind of gave it up and was like, it's not going to happen, not going to happen. Didn't go back to that school again. And then in my head I was thinking, oh, maybe one day someone will knock on my door and be like, we need you in Emmerdale, Coronation Street or whatever. And obviously that doesn't happen, and you do have to train and work for it.
But it nearly happened. You was telling me you very much nearly ended up in Corrie.
Yeah, so then I joined another one when I was 19, because I'm only 31 now, even though I look 12. When I was 19, I went to the Manchester School of Acting, which was just an hour on a Wednesday night, and was taught all these like different treatments and how to do it. And I was there for about 6 months, and then a writer from Coronation Street came in called Darren Little. And we all did a performance for him and stuff like that, and then went home, never heard anything. Then the next day I was shopping at the Trafford Centre, and I got a phone call off this number that I didn't know, and it was Darren who'd got my number off the acting coach. And he was like, I loved everything you did last night. I've gone home and I've wrote this part for you for Coronation Street. So I was like, oh my God, really? What is it? So he said he was going to be called Kyle Arkwright, 17 years old, and work for Weatherfield Council. And he would go in the Rovers and get served alcohol underage, and then they would like shut it down. And Sarah Lou and Candice, who were both in the show at the time, were supposed to spot him and fancy him. And then they'd have like a little tug of war over who was going to end up getting with him. Then I think Nikki Sanderson's character Candice was leaving, so the project was like held off a little bit. So in the meantime, I'd got an agent, and then they were like, "There's this character called Steve coming up in Hollyoaks, which is going to be 7 episodes. You could do this while we wait for Corrie. So I went and did that, and then I loved it, and I was like, do you reckon I could stay for a little bit longer than 7 episodes? And they were like, no, 7, that was it. And at the time, looking back at that first one, the character was a little bit of a geek, talking about the Discovery Channel and things, and I thought, well, characters like this don't interest me, they're quite boring for the viewers. I need to be a bit of a baddie. So I used to say all my lines like really sinister and under the eyebrow kind of thing, and it worked, because 12 years later I'm still there. And that was it. That's how I got into Hollyoaks.
Amazing. What about you, Jack?
To get into acting, me as a kid I was 4, and all I would do was watch films over and over. But there wouldn't be like 4-year-old films. There'd be like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction and things like that. And I just used to watch them backwards and forwards and recite them over and over in my room. And I didn't really pay attention in school to anything. I'd write the date and the title and nothing else. And then my mum was tearing her hair out at a parents' evening. She says, well, the parent says, well, what does he do? And she said, well, all he does is he goes home and he just watches films all day. And he says, well, why don't you like put him in some sort of drama club or something like that? So she found a drama club, did my mum, a local one in Bradford, because I'm from Leeds. And I was there a week, and the principal of the school got me this audition for Where the Heart Is. Do you remember Where the Heart Is?
Yeah.
Where the Heart Is on TV for Yorkshire Television, and it was to throw eggs at Sarah Lancashire. Do you remember? To throw eggs at her for 1 episode. I just had to be a cheeky sort of lad, similar to David's character, really. And I
that was
went
the beginning.
That was the what?
That was the beginning.
I went into the audition, though, and I'd never done any acting whatsoever. And the director said, so, what experience have you got? And I was 10 at this time. And I said, yeah, I've been acting for years. And he said, really? What have you done? And I said, Bugsy Malone. I just think of a film that kids were in. And I said, Bugsy Malone. Yes, I've been in that. And he said, really, what part? And I could have said Bugsy. I don't know why I didn't, but I was 10 and I panicked, and he was a director, and I was on my own in a room. And I said, well, I haven't actually done it. I've just watched it. And he was absolutely bent over backwards laughing. He thought it was hilarious that I had some brass neck about me to come in and lie. And he gave me the part. He gave me the part.
So you don't need talent, just
just lie. Just lie.
And then that was it?
And then I just seemed to go from audition to audition, from part to part, until eventually the Corrie audition came up. They were looking for boys in Manchester and they couldn't find the right one. And a previous casting director that had cast me in something said, oh, well, I did Clocking Off. I did a drama for the BBC and I played Tina's brother, Sarah Lou's brother, in that. And that went out while Tina got the part of Sarah Lou in the year 2000, and then that went on screen, and I was a brother in that. They were looking for a brother, and they went, we'll get him into audition. So I'm in auditioning against 3 other Mancunian lads, and I'm the only lad from Yorkshire, and I thought, I ain't got a cat now. But yeah, anyhow, I got it.
So at that age, do you know what you're doing? Do you know that's what you want to do? Are you being pushed to do it by your family?
I think it needs to, for that age, it needs to be a bit of both. I mean, you need a good support at the back of you, don't you? I mean, if you've got any chance really of getting anywhere. But
I was never pushed by my family. Like my father had football and things like that. And if I ring my mum and like, there's a really good episode, and it's like, you need to watch it. It's like, yeah. Then she'll ring me back and go, what channel is it on? I'm like, been in it for 8 years, Mum, at this point. It's Channel 4. So yeah, I was never really pushed into it with my family. It's always something that was in with us. That's what I really want to do. And like Jack said about being in school and stuff, there was never anything where I was like, I'm not really good at that, and couldn't really concentrate properly. And it just so happened when we did drama as like an extra thing on a Tuesday night after school, that was the one thing that really interested me. And I was like, yeah, definitely don't want to wag that. That's the one thing that I do want to do. Yeah.
And you're at school. How do all your schoolmates react? Is it...
Well, because I got the part when I was leaving year 6, going into year 7, and I was changing schools. So I wanted to go to the same high school as my brother and sister, only I said that I've got this part coming up on Corrie. I won't be here much. I'll only be here fleetingly. Is that okay? And they said, no. They said, we'll allow you to have 4 days off a year to film. You can't have any more time off. So thankfully, my mum went like that and said, well, he's not coming to this school. is off to a different school. So she looked for a different school, and they said, yes, as long as Jack's getting tutored out of school, he can come to this school. So I went to the only school that would accept me and me film Corrie was a high school surrounded by 5 council estates. So there was me in there on Coronation Street, surrounded by the catchment area of 5 council estates. But luckily, I weren't there that much. 'Cause it was a bit of a rough school.
So that very first day on set, can you remember what it was like for both of you?
Yeah, I had no experience at all. I'd just gone straight into that. So we film our show single camera, so I didn't know what continuity meant back then. Continuity basically is because we film it single camera, there might be 4 people in the scene, so I have to have a shot, that person, that person, that person, there might be a wide, and like every single time I've just done this with my hand now, I have to do that on every single take. Even down to blinking sometimes, depending how they edit it together. And I have to turn my head like that. Every word, everything has got to be exactly the same. So when they were first doing it, I was like, yeah, no, yeah. Then we do it again, turn the camera to someone else, and I'm like, yeah, going this way. And they're like, no, you can't do that. Everything has to be exactly the same. And like marks on the floor, and you have to be at a certain mark at a certain point. I was just literally in the deep end and didn't have a clue what I was doing.
I just remember it being a very adult world. So I was on Corrie anyhow, I was 12 years old, but I remember it always being weird that they wanted you to act like a kid when the cameras were rolling, but as soon as they say cut, they don't want you to act like a kid, and they want you to act like an adult, and I always found that transition difficult. So
well, you still act like a kid now, to be honest.
I still act like a kid now, yeah, but the scene is I'm playing with a football, so I'm playing with a football in the scene. As soon as they say cut, I'm still playing with a football, and it's get that football off him. Do you know what it was? That things that I found difficult. So
I think it's, to be honest, I think it's really tough for the kids. Like both of the kids that play my children in the show. Because I wasn't in school when I got the job, so they come and they're in like harrowing scenes like that where I'm like threatening the mum and she's got to come in and do all that, and then they're like, okay, now Ella May has to go to tuition, so she's literally been doing that. Then she's got to go and do her maths work, and then she'll have a lunch, and she's back onto another scene where she's getting pie through in her face or whatever's going on. So I think to go from, like you say, being a child to then need to be a bit of an adult and do your education at the same time.
Those were the hardest years for me on Corrie, being a kid, because as soon as you do big scenes, like you might be going into a canal or something, filming underwater, and then after that you come out and all the actors are having a break and going, oh, that's a relief. I'm in tuition, doing maths, English and science and Pythagoras and all that. And then I go back out and I get in the canal. I have a tetanus to get in there.
What's pi?
What?
What's pi?
It's that equation.
So you must need, though, within the productions, a great support network. Was there people giving you advice from the cast, directors? Did you find that? Did anyone put their arm around your shoulder?
Well, yeah, I was lucky enough to be in the Platts, and the Platts, especially Helen Worth, you know, she's always been there to sort of look after me and tell me the ways to sort of act around and things like that. And now I tell her how to behave. It's
come full circle.
It's come full circle now, yeah. But, yeah, I suppose you just have to trust who you're working with, I suppose, being that young, because you don't know anything else.
You learning the Kieran?
Yeah, I was 19, but I was playing 15. So everybody in the show, the other cast members, kind of saw me as one of the kids because I was playing a 15-year-old with real 15-year-olds. So I would be like hanging out with them, but thinking, I don't really have much in common with them because really I'm 19, so I should be with the bigger boys and girls. So I was kind of like, oh, please, I'm friends with you lot instead of the kids. So yeah, I found it a little bit difficult at first, but yeah, I think I'm fine now.
God, you two have both had amazing histories on the shows, as we saw from some of the club's ups and downs. What's been your favourite scenes, storylines from across the years that you remember and go, those are the ones I absolutely love?
That's the one that everyone always plays recently, the one of the Kylie one. That for last year, that seemed to get a big reaction from people.
You've had quite a few iconic ones though. You got the live one from last year.
The live, yeah.
With the hiding the body. You've mentioned the canal one. That's one that sticks in my head from watching it. Like,
yeah, like I think it's the family. I think because it's such. Helen Worth. I mean, she's done more episodes than any other female character. I mean, she's not far behind Bill Roach, the amount of episodes that she's done. So I think I've just been really lucky that I landed in that family, and. Yeah, and they just seem to get really big and dramatic stories, I think. So.
What about you, Kieran? You've been through some roller coasters.
If I was to list out the things that I've done in that show, it'd be ridiculous. So it's come in, being a bit of a geek, then did the Sinister Under the Eyebrows, so then I was a joyriding bully that got a teenage girl pregnant and crashed the car, and the baby, was she going to lose the baby? The baby was fine, then got sent to Younger Benders for a little bit, come out, then explored...
Sounds exactly like my character.
Explored my sexuality.
Both the same.
Explored my sexuality, you haven't done that yet.
I haven't done that yet.
Then got with some
Next year.
Irish dude with a moustache. Oh no, before that it was then a teenage domestic abuse relationship where my character Steve was beating Amy up, then turned gay, was in a gay relationship, but domestic abuse again, but the tables turned, so Steve was the victim this time. Then he left, then I got married to John Paul, I think, then I got HIV, then I was addicted to alcohol, then addicted to drugs, then hard drugs like crystal meth. Then after that, there's been loads.
Really quiet time for you.
Quiet time.
You've just floated through the show.
I nearly kissed my dad as well.
Nearly kissed
How
your
did you
dad.
nearly kiss your dad?
Because, what happened was I euthanized my mum in it, and then my dad turned up, but I didn't know it was my dad, and then we met in a pub, and then apparently fancied each other, and then went back to my character's flat, and then was like, trying to get close, and then he found this treasured box of memories, and realised that I was the son, and then ran away.
No.
Yeah.
Is that all? Yeah.
He's dead now as well.
In real life, or
just in the show?
All right. Okay. Yeah. You mentioned. So, how do you cope with that? How do you cope with all those dramatic highs and lows? You know, you do scenes that we saw them there. You're crying your eyes out, and you've thrown everything you got at the cameras. How do you leave that
behind?
At work and go home and.
It depends. Everybody's different. I mean, there's some of the cast at Corrie anyway that they really take it home with them. So they will really live the character, and I look at their scripts and the amount of notes they write on their scripts and everything, and where the character's been, what the character's feeling, which is fine if there's the way you want to act. I don't write anything on my script. I just learn my lines, and I learn them the night before, because from doing it as a young kid, I can learn them the lines really well. So I learn them the night before, and then they stick, and then I do them, and then that's it, and then I leave them. Do you know what I mean? I bin them, I forget them then, and I can do the next days then. But some of the cast really look over of them and really. That's why most of the for instance, Chris Gascoigne, he comes and he does a stint, and he'll be there for a year or two, and then he has to leave because it's too much for him. It's too much to live that character.
The intensity.
The intensity for him, he really does take it home with him, and even on the weekends, he's like really going over his lines and really thinking things through and stuff. But my weekend's my own, and my night time's my own, and I'm just there during the day, and then as soon as I shut the dressing room door, that's it, fine, see you.
And what about for you, Kieran? You just pointed out all those story peaks that you've done, from drugs to alcohol to nearly kissing your dad.
It's cliche to say, but obviously upsetting scene and stuff, I'm like, I think about, relatives that we've lost, which makes you really sad. I listen to sad music. I do all the cheesy things like that. If I do drug scenes, again, I do a really weird thing, put my head between my legs.
Oh, what's that? I've not heard this one.
Yeah.
Show us now.
What do you mean? How's that benefit?
Because I'm like, how do you show that you're high? And I was like, so then I found out that if I put my head between legs and do like a head rush and get veins to...
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to show you now, it's a little bit weird. But yeah,
this is the RTS Actor Studio.
But my personal opinion, I did go to the Manchester School of Acting. I did only go for 6 months, and I was terrible at the beginning. But I kind of learnt on the job, and it was a bit of a sponge trying to pick all the terminology up and what things meant. But in terms of acting, again, this is so cheesy to say, but it's if you just listen to the other actor and the dialogue they're giving you, then you should, hopefully, if they're a good actor, get some kind of feeling or emotion off them. So and you know what line you've got to say because you've learnt your line. So just say it. Don't play it too much. Just say
acting is reacting.
Acting is
reacting. Don't play it.
Yeah, and how do I switch off after a night for work? The half an hour drive back in the M62 is...
That helps.
That's how I get
That's reality for you.
You mentioned before about the live episodes. What's that like to do?
It's a really big rush, actually. I've done 3 now, and the last one was my favourite because I had the biggest thing to do in it. I mean, the other two, I was in it, but I was just like, hi, Dad, or, yeah,
Kicking a football.
Meet you there. Not really doing much, you know, so I never really felt like I was under any responsibility. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was under responsibility for the last one.
Do you know when it's live as well? 'Cause I always wonder, is everybody like, because you can't make a noise because then that sound would be on the telly live. So you're like running to the next scene or like tiptoeing to the next one.
Yeah, and we ran, didn't we? We had to run. You was there, weren't you?
I was there at the time before I moved over to Lime, and we did.
I had a minute. The timed it. I had a minute and 14 seconds, I think, to get from stage 2 all the way to the street before my next scene. So that's as soon as they went cut, we're off. I had to peg it and run out of the studio and run all the way. And by the time I got to the street, they went, "Is everybody ready? Everybody ready? Action!"
And they replicated the Platt sets in 3 different spaces because it took too long to get from that one to that one. So you could go to this one in the middle to shoot that scene and then get the other one.
That's crazy.
Did you go to the gym before that? Or? No, I didn't think so. Both productions are shot, even though continuing drama and 5 nights a week and going on the 6 episodes a week, they're both shot very differently. Can you just explain the differences between the two?
So we are single camera, like I said before. So they would be, at the moment, we have 6 units filming, which means this 6 weeks of television, so 6 different directors, 6 different crews. You could be on 4 or 5 of them, so you would have to learn all your lines for 4 or 5 different weeks in your headspace. Like I've just told you what storylines that we do, you could be all over the shop. So you learn all that, so you start in the morning on 1 and be like,
you have 6 a day?
We've got 6 a day at the moment. Are you going to say you've got like 20 a day?
No, we haven't. We've got 4 max.
So that's quite difficult to like think, what's going on with the character right now? And as I said, with the continuity to remember it, when if you probably say your lines about 20 times by the time you do a block through rehearsal, and then everybody's shots and everything, and close-ups and whatever, you have to do it about 20 times. And I say every hour movement you have to remember for 20 times. And then yours is obviously in a studio. But I would say I would rather do it our way and have the stress of thinking, oh, what's my hand just done, or when did I turn the head, than you would shoot a lot more in a day. Like I think we only shoot 6 minutes worth of
What's
television
that on pages? How many pages do you film?
It depends how big the scene is, but we get 6 minutes. Because you're studio, you can get a lot more done, which means you would have a lot more dialogue to learn every night than we would.
So how many scenes do you have on a...
Sometimes 6 scenes a day.
Oh, right, okay.
On one unit, but then you could be on...
You might go over.
Yeah. But how many scenes would you do a day?
If you're really busy, maybe 10, 11 or something.
Over consecutive days, isn't it?
No, over a day.
No, but you do like 10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody thinks as soon as you wrap at 6:30 or 7:30 or whatever it is, then you go home and
learn all
you
you
chill out.
learn.
Then you're like, you got to learn everything for the next day, so you don't really get to switch off until about 9 o'clock.
So we film about 30 to 35 pages of dialogue a day. So if you're in all those scenes, it's 30 to 35 pages that you've got to learn a night. So it can be a lot. It just depends. But there might be times when you come in at 9 o'clock in the morning and you're done at 1:30. Yeah. You might do one scene and then you're out the door. You know, it's swings and roundabouts. You never know. It's just, if you're the flavour of the month and if you're busy...
The best feeling in the world, though, is when you read your script and it says NS at the top, which means no, non-speaking.
So you're in the scene, but you're just like that.
They're the best to do, but not the best when you watch it. You're like,
I'm not even in this, yeah.
And in terms of television, you've been on our screens for years and years and years. How's it changed from when you first started? There's a lot of obvious answers with digital and all that kind of things, but personally, how has it changed for you over the years? That's stuck yet, didn't it?
Less people watch because there's more channels now. I'd say, how has it changed?
Is that a conscious thing for you, though? Is that do you twig that? Like, do you think when we started there was only 4 channels? Is that do you notice that yourselves, or is that just people telling you? Does it still feel like we're making this show that we were making when it was 4 channels?
Yeah, I think so. You see, I don't think it's... Well, from my point of view, I don't think it's really changed.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think...
You're still doing the same job.
Yeah.
you did when you first started.
I think what you see on television has changed. What you get away with doing, which you couldn't do years ago. I think it's the content of the shows and soaps, especially, is a lot more grittier, and you can tell more issue-led stories, which you probably didn't really see in soaps years ago.
Is that because there's more overseas dramas and there's more access to?
Well, because Netflix is huge, isn't it? So, and the shows on there, like the material,
they're easily accessible.
Yeah, so I think people want more edge of the seat stuff instead of just walking in the Rovers and asking for a pint. But we've seen that now. So they want the murderers and whatever in soaps. Yeah.
And for being on television for such a long time, how do you cope with the limelight? How do you live normal lives as well as being on primetime telly?
I find it's not that bad here in Manchester. I think it's fine. I think if you go to somewhere like Wakefield or somewhere like that.
Who's done from Wakefield tonight? Oh, we got football.
It might be somewhere different. You know, you might find a different reaction there because maybe they're not as used to seeing people. I think even with like Manchester, with having like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think with Manchester having like Man City, Man U, Corrie, they sort of come accustomed to seeing people. I don't think it's much of a big deal. But like if you go to different walks of
life. Jack P. Shepherd has just said he's not a big deal. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's brilliant.
You know what I mean? though? That's what I think.
We'll clip that out from the live stream.
It's fine.
What about you, Kieran? How do you?
I don't know, he'll get it a lot worse than we do. Corrie's like the massive iconic thing that's been in people's living rooms for, I mean, it's 50 years or whatever it's been. So that's like everybody knows Coronation Street. It's Hollyoaks, we have a young demographic, so if you grew up watching it as a kid, then yeah, maybe. So I probably don't get it as much as Jack, but when you do, if you're on your own, like I have a mini heart attack, I'm like, oh, please don't come over, please don't come over. Because it's embarrassing to stand there having a picture when you're on your own and everyone's looking like, who does he think he is? And I'm like, oh, I didn't ask them to ask us a picture. They asked me. Like, I get all embarrassed and shy.
I'm talking about taking pictures and selfies, and so social media. How has that been for you? You know, when we all first started, there was not even a thing as Facebook or Twitter or anything. How has that impacted on the show and?
Well, you would walk, say if you walk down the street and somebody didn't like your performance or whatever, they shout it at you, but now they can directly get to you by your phone and say, that was crap. Or on the other side of that, if you have a really big episode and people are pleased with what you've done, then you can get that instant like, oh, I love tonight, I'd like to.
Is that hard? Is that hard?
Well, I only remember the bad stuff, but
yeah.
It's surreal to see the instant reaction to what they've just watched.
I've been lucky. I worked on the digital on both shows, and it's just growing and growing over the years. And what we've always tried to do is try to extend storylines and do spin-offs for websites and for social media. Has that been a big part of it? Do you think it's a big part of it? Is it an important part of it?
Yeah, because it still gets people talking about the show, doesn't it? I mean, any sort of, like the spin-offs that we used to do, as much as what we enjoyed doing them as well, it always got us some sort of reaction on Twitter or something like that.
When we first started, it was 2007, and I was the first digital producer on Corrie. There was this thing called, I don't know where you've heard of it, YouTube? It was up and coming back then, and I started doing the interviews for ITV.com. And me and Jack used to do interviews, and that's how we became friends. What I used to give you a word to try to get out of the interview. Yeah. Jack, can you get pineapple in, please? Yeah, so, oh, it's been a right pineapple today, that Martin Platt. Oh. And then us, Kieran, we've gone to Facebook headquarters, and you've presented a live show with all the cast for the Halloween special.
Yeah, but on the other side of that, you would be like filming a really emotional scene and like, oh, it's snot and tears and everything. Then you get one of these guys coming next to go, can you just do a Snapchat for us? Not now, Alan, not now. But yes, I get and I understand that it goes with it. And in this day and age, all the kids have got Snapchat, and if they see something that could be coming up in the episode, they might watch it at the night time. So I get it. But yeah, I've done some crazy things. I've dressed up in a tinfoil outfit for you guys as well at some point.
See, thank you very, very much.
Did that make people tune in?
Yep. Next question. We're wrapping up pretty soon, but what is the future for television and soaps? It's one of those ones that changes.
Well, we're off to 6 eps, so there's going to be an extra episode, and there'll be more Corrie, I suppose, on. I mean, everybody always says, surely there can't be 6, but Bill Roach was saying in the green room, he went, well, I remember when we went to 2. We went, well, yeah. And he was then saying it'd be, you know, they couldn't cope.
Yeah.
And Bill's he's the busiest in work at the minute. He's got a massive story at the minute. So it's great to see Bill, as old as what he is, 158, and he's still got the big storyline, and we're off to 6 eps.
I'm loving it.
Loving it, and he's still there. And comes in, never forgets his lines, never corpses,
Yeah.
always on cue, always on time. Such a professional, such a guy.
And where we'll go, I know you're going to go to 6 eps. The show's, 54 years old? Hollyoaks is 21 years old.
I think as well, like, I know that we're representing Hollyoaks and Coronation Street right now, but the fact that Emmerdale won the NTA for the first time the other week, that it's soaps, it's not a competition between everybody. I think is just as good as each other. All the actors are incredible, and I think we do live in a reality world, and the fact that soaps are still doing so well and still flying that flag, I'm really super proud that I work in a soap.
I'm so proud to be part of the Machines. They're an amazing thing, and as families, it is like one big family when you work on a continuing drama. People you spend most of your lives.
Well, you do. You see everybody at work more than what you see your own family. Yeah. And it's a running thing. So I'm at 12 hours a day. I'll be at Corrie from 7:30 till 7:30. And then I'll go home. The kids are usually bathed in bed if I've timed it right. So then I'll just see Lauren for a bit, and then I'll learn my lines, and then I'm back at work again. So yeah, usually Saturday, Sunday is the only 2 days. So I'm lucky that, as we were saying earlier, that those Saturday and Sunday is my Saturday and Sunday. I'm not having to go over my lines again.
You make it personal enough.
Yeah.
And I guess final question for me. What advice can you give to the future? Now, just before I say this question, I was very lucky to be asked to be an RTS judge for the awards tonight. And oh my God, I was blown away by the talent that's sitting in this room. The work that's going to come out of the Northwest from now over the next 5-10 years is unbelievable. The talent is amazing. What can you give advice for these guys to take the next step?
Well, I think you've just said in that speech, Al, that I don't need to give any advice, do I? Because the talent's amazing. I don't know, I just always remember as being a kid that I just wanted to act. I just wanted to get into something, and just that. I never wanted to do it to be famous or anything like that. I'm sure no one wants that. You just want to do whatever it is you want to do, be it behind the camera, in front of the camera. So meet with the right people. I think you're in the absolute perfect place here. Speak to people, and just get. What's the word I'm looking for? When you sort of.
If he doesn't have a script, he's useless.
I know, I'm useless. What is it when you connect with someone? Like, no, when you network. That's it. Network. Yeah.
When was the last time you networked?
I know.
God.
I feel like everybody else is already leaps and bounds ahead of me because I started the training but then gave it up at 11 years old, so then it did take me a lot longer to achieve the goal that I wanted to do, but everybody has already started that process, so they kind of don't need advice off me because they're already a step ahead because they've stuck to it and they're already here tonight. So yeah, I just don't give it up and do continue, otherwise you do delay your dreams of where you want to be.
I think for me it's always by being passionate. You know, if you find what you want and be passionate about it and go for it and be nice to the people on the way up because you always meet them on the way back down again.
Yeah, it's honestly true that as well. Because I've known so many situations, one in particular where a producer came into work and they met with a cast member who I won't mention, and she was talking to them about their character and the way she felt it was going forward. And he said, well, I'll just stop you right there because we've met before. Have we? Yes, we worked on this. I was a runner and you were really rude to me. Ooh. And she went, oh, I don't remember. He says, well, I do. She went, oh, well, I'm sorry, it's just blah, blah, blah. And then she carried on talking about her character. And he went, well, I'll just stop you right there because I don't see your character going anywhere.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should have killed my David Platt.
Yeah, but needless to say, she didn't last long, she went. So it's that old thing, it's be nice to everyone, it is, you have to be.
But just be passionate without being ruthless.
And never, ever ring in sick.
No, I never ring in sick.
No.
No.
I've done so many jobs before this one, every job possible, including putting tomato ketchup sachets into the microwave burger box, and I've rang in sick for all of them. And then the best bit of advice I got was from Will Mellor. That was when I got the job, and he was like, whatever you do, never ring in sick. And I've managed to get to touch some kind of wood 12 years without doing it. Even when you're so poorly, you can still go in and do it. It's really frowned upon, apparently.
And always do a Snapchat filter for digital.
Dressed as a tinfoil man.
Brilliant. Quick round of applause.
Cheers, guys.
I think. We'll just do a few questions from the audience.
Well, if there is any.
If there is any. I think we've gone through quite a bit, but if you've got we've got 2 questions, if we can.
Well, there you go.
We'll just get the mic over to you. Oh, we've got a microphone coming to you, though, so.
Hi, Jim Granger from Manchester Film School. We run a course where we train students in the crew roles for single camera drama. And I'm just interested in what you might, what advice you would give to our students who are going to be who hope to be crew members for productions which you might be in the future. What advice would you give to them? What would you like them to say? How would you like them to treat you? What would you say to our students?
Well, it depends what role they're doing in the single camera. If they're a cameraman or...
Yeah, camera, grip, lighting, sound, whatever.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they really have to give us any advice, do they? The crew or anything. Just that it's... Single camera takes a longer time than multi-camera, doesn't it? I mean, that's...
I'd say a funny story about it was I was doing a crime scene, yet again, and do you know the clapperboards that go in front of your face just before they shout action? Luckily, I really like this guy, but he came up and he was about to do the clapperboard, so the camera can see, take one, scene, whatever it is, but on the back of the white bits in front of my face, so I'm like, oh, just listening to sad music and really getting going, and he wrote on the back of it, all you ever do is cry. I'm like, and they go, and action. I'm like, what? You don't understand, I've just seen, oh, yeah, so don't ever write on the back of a clapperboard. Yeah.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I would say, we had one big family at Hollyoaks, so the crew's the same as the cast, like there's no separation. So, yeah.
There's a time and a place.
Tell them to come to Lime Creek.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We've got time for one more. Very, very front.
Hi, I'm Mike Sheridan, and I'm from, I do TV and radio across the road at Salford. And I was just wondering, from your perspective, what do you think makes a good director from your side? Like, how do you like to be sort of, I suppose, treated, I guess?
For me, it's, I suppose it's a bit of a selfish thing. I suppose it's listening to the actor. It's, I suppose, just listening. I suppose just that. I suppose if the actor's got a point, the director's got a point, the writer's got a point, or if that doesn't work, and just listen to all your crew. If your cameras say, well, we need to shoot it this way, or I'm going to struggle, I need to get this, well then, yeah, be open to it. Don't say no. And say, how can we change, how can we get this shot, or anything like that.
I don't like direction where they'll go, oh, I've seen this film, watch this scene, try and copy that. Because I'm like, oh, no, I want to put my little spin on it. I don't want to copy somebody else's performance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. Known you guys for a long time, thank you very, very much for doing this tonight. You've been absolutely brilliant. The RTS Actor Studio, that's what we should have called it, Richard, I think. So next time. A massive round of applause for Jack and Kieran.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right. It's worth knowing that people like Jack, Kieran and Alan who conducted that session give their time freely for the RTS Northwest. You know, that goes to show the support, the dedication they do. So, you know, an extra round of applause for the simple fact that they, along with everybody else involved tonight, you know, is doing it off their own goodwill. Additionally, as I mentioned at the start, you know, it is being streamed live on Facebook. So as we're about to get into the awards phase, certainly if you want to share that with your colleagues, facebook.com/RTS Northwest, as well as using the hashtag on Twitter, RTSNW. And that too is offered free by our friends from Oxyfire Media. So thank you very much, and a little round of applause for them for doing that too. So another person who's here off his own good volition and good grace is Roger Johnson, the host of BBC Northwest Tonight, who has just presented their 6:30 show and come off air just before 7 o'clock. Roger is a familiar face in this region, not just presenting BBC Northwest Tonight, but also regularly appears on BBC Breakfast on a weekend. Roger has been a journalist for many, many years, started his career in radio, both at Radio Manchester and Radio Solent, down on the south coast. He worked at BBC South for 14 years and was lucky enough to win a National RTS Sports Award for his sports reporting, before moving to fill, unenviably, the boots of Gordon Burns when he took over as one of the main anchors on BBC Northwest in 2011, where he's been since. And indeed, we should wish him all the best, because this time next week, Northwest Tonight are up for a national RTS award at the RTS Journalism Awards that take place in London a week tonight. They're up for the best regional news programme, up against two colleagues, one from ITV and one from the BBC. So Roger, good luck on behalf of everybody from the RTS in the Northwest, and rivalry aside, you know, anybody who represents the Northwest of England should go with the best of our wishes. So good luck tonight. Before we show a little film, one little bit of Wikipedia research today. Roger's other claim to fame: don't believe any history. Is it true or untrue? Because if it's untrue, I'll blame Wikipedia. But don't believe that Matt Le Tissier was the last person to ever score a goal at the Dell, Southampton's football ground. It was actually Roger Johnson, because a few days after the final football game was played there was a charity match in which Roger appeared at half-time. It was actually a match between Brighton and Southampton to mark the end of the ground. But as that game was already 1-0 and finished 1-0, the final goal to be scored in a penalty shootout was by one Roger Johnson, who will forever hold that claim to fame, be the last person to score a goal on an English football ground. But, as I say, he is best known for his work on TV, on Northwest Tonight and BBC Breakfast. So let's have a little look at Roger in action.
Good evening, welcome to Northwest Tonight with Roger Johnson
and Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story.
Good morning, it's Saturday the 30th of June. We are having a brilliant time and he is loving it. The singer Amy Winehouse has been found dead at her flat this afternoon. Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of South Today. I'm Roger Johnson. In tonight's for one night only, I'm afraid there is only one show in town. The ability of football to unite a community. The city of Portsmouth is certainly providing it this afternoon. Good evening, welcome to Northwest Tonight with Roger Johnson
and Annabelle Tiffin.
The Olympic flame is Liverpool's flame. Moments later, just after 10 o'clock, when they arrived at the scene, the most unbelievable violence was unleashed upon them. A dark, damp, autumnal fog has clung to Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral all day today, a bit like the sadness which has shrouded this place. Islamic State posted a video on the internet seemingly showing the killing of Alan Henning, an ordinary man from this ordinary town. For a quarter of a century, the Hillsborough Football Stadium disaster on the 15th of April 1989 has officially been an accident, something which the police and the emergency services couldn't be blamed for, couldn't be held accountable for. The only ones who were blamed were the fans. Not anymore.
I can't tell the difference.
Could have been me.
Which?
I brought you a box.
Oh, I just have to have my hand just going over it, don't I?
so sorry. You all right?
Yeah.
Thank you for all the money you've raised for children in need today. It's also got Dean's hair in it, of course, because Dean has his head shaved. That's it from us in the Northwest. Thank you so much for the money you've raised, and thank you for giving the money to see me in here. Good night from us in Preston. It's a bit like one of those reviews of your career that they do when you've died, isn't it? The most alarming thing is you can see as that tape went on that I'm getting closer and closer to that fateful day because my hair gets greyer and greyer and greyer in all the clips as well, doesn't it? Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. The best of luck to all of you who are here tonight. As Richard was kind enough to say in his little introduction, I have been to a few RTS Awards down the years. The very first one that I went to was at the Grosvenor House Hotel in London in 2003. It was a black tie do. I'd entered it, I'd never heard of it, didn't know what it was. Persuaded my boss to let me enter, and won. Couldn't believe it. Went up onto the stage, thought, fantastic, managed to do a nice little speech, had a few beers, it was all good. Entered again the next year, got nominated again, couldn't believe it. Turned up, didn't win. Perfected the polite hand clap. Entered again the following year, got nominated again. Surely it'd be my year. Didn't win. Polite hand clap. That happened the year after that as well. I was lucky enough to be nominated, but it just proves that just getting to here is a terrific achievement for you, just to get nominated. In the years since, I've been to loads of RTS Awards. I've been part of a team that's won on a couple of occasions. Most of the time, you have to have a polite hand clap and say well done to somebody else. So just to be here, just to make it onto the shortlist is a fantastic achievement, as I know better than anybody. I will invite you when you come up, if you want to make a short speech, you can. A word of warning. I'm sure none of you have been on the beers, so you'll probably be okay, but at some of these RTS do's, there's quite a lot of alcohol consumed before the awards are handed out. If you choose to make a speech, I'm sure you will, choose your words carefully, you'll do a wonderful job. It can be very dangerous, as I know, if you're unexpectedly thrust forward to do a speech having had a few beers. On one occasion, it's one that I wish that I could take back, but anyway. So congratulations to you all for being here. As you know, the RTS Northwest Student Awards recognise the very best of student media work from across this region. And as was said a little bit earlier, it's all part and parcel of finding the next generation, not just of news presenters, but of filmmakers, of documentary makers, of animation people, and you will know better than me probably just how rich this region is for things like animation, drama, we know about, of course. People who have won here in the past have gone on to win BAFTAs, got nominated for one of those, never won it. What a great feeling that must be. To win a BAFTA, to win an Oscar. There was someone who, Richard was saying, 4 years ago, sitting where you are, a nominee for one of these awards, has now been nominated for an Oscar. So the path to the top, for some of you, may well be a quick one. When you do get nominated for an Oscar, can I just point out, let us know on Northwest Tonight, and we'd love to have you on the sofa for an interview. We had more than 40 entries for this year's RTS Northwest Awards. The judges were delighted to see a real mixture of work from across the 6 categories: drama, comedy and entertainment, factual, fiction, news and short feature. Before we get into the meat of the 6 awards that we have to give out tonight, as Alan from Lime Pictures said, there has been a fantastic standard of entries this year. Let's just have a look at some of them.
never get my hopes up, 'cause then I'll never get let down. But you were something special, I didn't notice until now. I heard sirens in my head from the first time that we met. Thought it was a false alarm. Yeah, we started as a spark. Didn't think we'd come this far, but here we are. Oh, I'm dancing in flames, I'm dancing in flames. I ain't scared of the blaze, don't rescue me. And now I'm burning in your arms, and there's fire in my heart. No, it's not a false alarm. No, it's not a false alarm. Maybe I'm too careful, didn't trust the signs, didn't wanna jump, too scared of the high. And now I'm burning in your arms, and there's fire in my heart. No, it's not a false alarm. No, it's not a false alarm. No, it's not a false alarm.
Gosh, I bet that's whetted your appetite. It certainly has mine. Thanks to Ross McAdam and Rob Douglas Reeves and everyone else at Dot 10 who helped to make that film, and all the other little films. Well, you made them. They put them together. That we'll see during the course of the evening. All that little bit of whooping and hollering during the bit that made me think. I couldn't quite tell where the noisy ones were, because there's always a noisy bunch. So, can I have one from this side of the room? Okay, gentleman there is not very impressive. He didn't join in. Right, so this side of the room, I presume you'll be a bit better. All right, okay. So you lot of yeah. And all of you. Okay. Right, so the etiquette, the way this is going to work, we're going to see a little, before I'll introduce the category, we'll see a clip of the nominees. I'll then just tell you what the judges said about each of the nominees. I'll reveal the winner, at which point the winner, as in individual or team, can come up, receive their award, have a certificate as well. If you would like to make a speech, don't make it too long, save it for the bar to tell everyone just how great you are for later, but please feel free to say a few words if you want to. And then, when they've gone back, we'll invite the nominees up as well, just to receive their certificates up on the stage. Because, as I said, just to be here, you shouldn't, even to be nominated, you shouldn't just be sitting there anonymously. You need to be up here for everyone to see who you are, because this looks really, really good. So, here we go. Let's start the awards. The first category tonight, you can get it out of the way if you've been sitting there. If you're in the animation category, I'm a bit worried it might go quiet after we've given this one out if you're in it. Let's have a look at the nominees for the Animation Award.
me. Any wish you desire, I'll grant it for you.
Wow, that's incredible. Anything I want?
Of course. Come with me, I can show you.
No, I gotta go. I'm really late for class.
In my world, you'd never be late again.
No deal. I'm not going anywhere with you, you creepy feather boa.
No, don't leave, Zoe.
Ooh, you know my name. Spooky.
I said...
Stop! Ah! Hey! Ah! Ah!
How long was I out? Maybe a good 3-4 hours or so. 3 hours! Minimum. The truth is, honey, it's only been... Wendy?
Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't so happy to see the big unit. He takes one close and is ruled hit by the pitch. Arizona.
You look lovely.
There's obviously something in the water at the University of Central Lancashire. So not Cryptosporidium anymore either. All 3 finalists in this animation category once again come from UCLan. The judges felt that it's testament to the hard work, knowledge and expertise of the tutors, along with the dedication of the students, that the university continues to submit high quality entries and is obviously setting the bar for everybody else. The first one of the finalists you saw there was Matchstick Zombies by Jake Blakeston. The judges' comments on Jake's work included incredibly sophisticated, the work of a bright young mind, Burton-esque in its design, with praise too for the direction and the humour. Secondly, Wish in a Box by Gemma Rickers. The judges said that Gemma had created an enchanting story, well written for a younger audience, mixing slick animation with traditional. In parts, they said, the film was beautiful. And finally, Epilation by Liam Springthorpe, Amberly Eloise Kennedy and Thomas James Hardman. The judges said that Epilation was comic and quirky, with detailed sets and original style which made them smile. There can be only one winner. That winner will, of course, come from UCLan. Congratulations to all the nominees, but the Royal Television Society Northwest Student Award for 2017 for animation goes to Matchstick Zombies by Jake Blakeston. That's one for the university and one for the winner. So there you go. Take the other one, but don't lose one and then pretend you never had it in the first place. 2 certificates too. Quick photograph, Jake, to the back, if that's all right. Well done. Okay, do you want to do So let's get the 2 other nominees up as well, please. Gemma Rickers for Wish in a Box and Epilation for the 3 people who were involved in that. Well done. No, you're welcome. One for you. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, we've got loads here. Hang on a minute. So there's one for you. Epilation? Yeah. Give them all to me. Give them all to you. You can hand them out. Is that all right? So, you got them all? Well done. Do you want individual photographs or together? Group photograph. Here we go. Well done. Congratulations, guys. Really well done to all the nominees in that category, and particularly well done to Jake for Matchstick Zombies. The second category this evening is the one in which, interestingly, there was the largest number of entries, therefore the most competitive and probably most difficult to win. Comedy and entertainment. Here are the nominees.
it's on me. You're my friend, but I don't ever single note to land. Believe me, I've looked in my pockets and sofas, it's hopeless, I'm counting the days again. From the moment I pick up my feet in the morning till the minute I'm falling asleep and night's calling. Even when I'm alone in my dreams, I'm still counting down. 5 more days, Friday, better not Friday. Not so happy this morning, I'm leaving cheap tomorrow.
Been here for 6 years now. And only last year they bumped me up to head of sales. Made some decent mates here, to be fair though. We're going for a game of footy tonight, so it should be a laugh, shouldn't it? George! George! He's always ignored. He's behind me, isn't he? Is he? Get him! Is he there? Is he there? He's mad. He's mad. Get back in your seat!
Plenty of comedy and entertainment, I'm sure you'll agree. The 3 finalists in the comedy and entertainment category are students from the Manchester Film School at the Manchester College and from the University of Central Lancashire. Good to see you still going. The first nominee then was that you saw on the screen was Hyper by Evolve a Soul from Jazz Rivens and the team at the Manchester Film School. The judges said superb casting that fitted the track visually and looked cool. It was vibrant and well thought through. The second nominee, J.P. Cooper, 5 More Days, which was a second nomination tonight, or one of 2 for Yusuf Thami and Liberty Shaw from UCLAM, also along on this occasion with Joe McDonald, Hazel Scott. The judges said that this was a technically brilliant music video, very simple, but with superb transitions. And the final nominee, which we just saw, Headless, the Ed Shales Story, made by Yusuf Thami, Liberty Shaw, Jake River Parker and Heather Davenport from UCLAM. The judges said this was funny, 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 funny. I don't know if that was a cut and paste or a typo, or they said it 4 times, I don't know. It was an original and clever idea with a great punchline, a great concept that was brilliantly realised. Well done to all 3 of the nominees in this category. The Royal Television Society North West Students' Award for Comedy and Entertainment for 2017 goes to Headless, the Ed Shales Story. Congratulations, well done, well done. Congratulations. Thank you. Right, let me give these out. These are the most. Who wants? Shall I give them to the ladies? Yeah, sorry. Very good. I'll give you the paper. A quick photo to the back, guys. Want to do a speech? Yeah, well, they're going to do a speech. Go on. Which one's you? Go on. You've been nominated twice in that category. So.
Me? No, it's Yusuf who's been nominated twice.
All right.
Yusuf directed, edited it. Liberty, she was the DP. Me and Heather wrote it together, sort of AD, and then Yusuf produced it. Yeah, we went to the last festival. Went to all the way to Ibiza. Went there and came back empty-handed. So it's nice to just come to Manchester and get something that Yusuf didn't just win on his own. So, cheers.
Well done. Congratulations. Did you just say you went to an awards do in Ibiza? Yes. It's all right, eh? Salford must seem a little bit, certainly not as warm. Many congratulations to the team then behind that one. Can we have the guys from Hyper and JP Cooper just to come up to the stage to receive their certificate? Well done again. Well done, Patties. Congratulations. Well done, Mary, all your stickers. Quick photograph to the back again. Okay, well done. Well done to all the nominees involved in the comedy and entertainment category tonight. The third category of the evening is for factual. Factual, we're always a little bit more subdued. It's a serious business fact, isn't it, rather than the comedy and animation. But well done to all the nominees. Here is their work in the factual category.
Surprisingly, not all honey tastes the same. In Derbyshire, Len Canziani is known as the bee man. He's taken taste to the next level.
With the honey, we sell a spring honey, a summer honey, we sell a creamed honey. The reason it's summer and spring is because as the flowers change, the taste changes. This is where we keep the bees, just the other side. They're only here for a couple of weeks. Just while the borage is in flower. It's just round the corner here.
I'm the chair of new openings, and I help do what I can for the, not just for new openings, but for people in Bolton, with people with learning disability, all over Bolton, just to get things right for what's needed.
What do you think you've learned from coming to the meeting?
People about learning disability, people with learning disability.
Speaking up for myself.
She was quite a quiet character at the beginning. She didn't really speak a lot because she didn't come across very friendly. But as we developed her, we kind of got to know that she had this really bad relationship at home. Her husband knocked her around a lot. So to relate it to me, I have had quite a rough relationship in the past. So it was easy in a sense of relating back to emotions that I'd been through, but at the same time it was really difficult to try and keep it just the stage.
Very well done to all three nominees. The finalists in the factual category come from two of our universities, the University of Salford and the University of Bolton. Just to tell you a bit about the films that you just saw, the first nominee, Guardian of the Bees, was made by Mike Halligan, Evan Griffiths and Matt Hayworth from Salford. The judges praised the characters in the film who were brought to life with some high quality shots. They said it was an excellent idea for a student film which was executed brilliantly. The second nominee, See What I See, Hear What I Hear, from Robbie Nash at the University of Bolton. The judges said that they were hooked in this from the start. It was very moving and had chosen its subject with empathy and with clarity. It was clear there was a very strong bond and warmth between the filmmaker and the contributors. The judges said that on every level this deserved recognition. And the final nominee in the category was In the Hot Seat by Adrienne Lawton, Emily Birchall, Jack Robinson and Abigail Mayer from Salford University. The judges said that this was a slick, well-executed film. It was beautifully lit, fast-paced, and the use of archive was superb, and in parts the women's stories were very powerful. In this category, though, the judges were unanimous in their selection of the winner, and the winner of the Royal Television Society North West Student Award for 2017 for factual is See What I See, Hear What I Hear by the University of Bolton. Well done. I'll hand them both over to you. Well done. You Robbie? Yes. Robbie, that's for you. Do you want to say a few words? Yes, go ahead.
Just the group that I worked with were unbelievable. Really were. They'll be so made up for this, and they'll be getting a copy of this and hopefully be watching it if I've not shared it properly with the guys. So thank you to Mick and thanks for everyone. Appreciate it.
And let's just congratulate also the two nominees in this category, Guardians of the Bees and In the Hot Seat. Well done. You both saw. Yeah. Nice to see you. Well done. So which one's which? Sorry, that's you. There you go. Well done. Do a quick photo to the back. It was an interesting point that Robbie just made when he received his award, and I think Jack made it in the little chat beforehand. For someone like me, who's in front of the camera, as many of you are, you can only be as good as the team behind you, behind the camera. It is a team, and it'd be great to hear Robbie there acknowledge, as I'm sure you all do, that it's the teams that you work with that make excellent content. Now then, our next category tonight is the first of two new categories at the Royal Television Society North West Awards. Our universities and colleges, as we well know, have a proud tradition of training journalists who are the backbones not only of newsrooms here in the North West, probably one just over there on North West Tonight and one just over there on Granada Reports, not to mention all the other newsrooms and programmes that are made here, but also on a national level, and I suspect Richard himself is testament to that as the editor of ITV's Evening News. Our next category then is news. I promise not to trip the winners up as they go off the stage, because they'll probably be having my job in a few years' time. Here are the nominees.
Once refugees have left their homes, they face a long and often difficult journey to find a new place to settle. It took Farima 7 years to get to England. She lives here with her husband and 3 children.
When I was 17, my dad wanted to kill me. He wanted me to marry a much older man, but I was in love with a boy my own age. If I didn't marry, I would die, and so I had to run away from Iran. I got married to the boy I loved and soon had a child. We walked for 5 days to get to Turkey. We would have to eat leaves from the ground to survive. A kind man took us in his car to the Greek border. We had fake passports. It is wrong, but we had no choice.
You know, you picture what she's going to look like. You wonder if she's going to look like you or like her dad. But then in the back of your head, you have this fear, and whatever you've been picturing and imagining over these last months is not really going to turn out that way. You know, it would be very different. But she was still our baby, and she was still beautiful, and she was absolutely perfect in every way.
Two really powerful nominees who made it to the finalists in this category tonight, both from the University of Salford, both of which, on the evidence of that little clip, wouldn't be out of place on any main news bulletin. Just to tell you a bit about them, the first was Life as a Refugee, made by Jennifer Henry. The judges praised the journalism and production in the package that aimed to bring the refugee story to a young audience. Compelling interviews and clear information kept the judges interested. One judge said, "It's clear that Jennifer is a grafter." You need to be a grafter to get on in news, so well done, Jennifer, on your nomination. The second nominee is Stillbirths from Carly Foster. A challenging subject, the judges said, handled very sensitively. The judges said it was clear that there was a rapport between Carly and the very powerful interviewees, as we just saw in that clip. The good use of supporting statistics helped the judges to understand the issues involved. The judges were indeed unanimous in agreement about the winner of the Royal Television Society North West Student Award for 2017. In news, it goes to Life as a Refugee from Jennifer Henry at the University of Salford. You got enough hands?
I'm only little.
Just do a quick photo. Go for it. No, not so.
The subject's something I'm really, really passionate about, so I'm just really glad I've won on behalf of those people that I find are really underrepresented in where I live and where I come from, so I'm just really proud to do it for them. Thank you.
And Jennifer and Carly, can I presume that you're both taught by the man standing over there? Yeah. Andrew Fletcher of Granada Reports, BBC fame, used to be on 5 Live a lot, and obviously doing a good job, Andrew. Carly, could you come up to receive your certificates, please? Congratulations. Very well done to both Carly and, of course, to Jennifer. Excuse me. The penultimate category this evening, also new to these awards. Awards do tend to grow over the years, and I think that the main regional RTS awards that North West Tonight, Granada Reports go in for, I don't know, there's about 30, I think. It seems to go on for an awfully long time. I don't think we're ever going to get to that stage, but it's testament to the amount of good work that's being done by you guys that the awards have to grow to reflect that and to accommodate all the great work that's been doing in the different genres. So, the penultimate category, short feature, involves entries which could qualify elsewhere, but due to their length, 3 minutes or less, fit into this better new category. Here are the nominations.
Mr. Perfect waking up for another perfect day. But today was something different. But what, we do not know. Mr. Perfect woke up and stubbed his perfect toe. How unusual it was for something to go wrong. Mr. Perfect brushed it off and said, only once. But wrong came again, and this he couldn't stand, feeling like an idiot in his black sodden pants. Furious as he was, he screamed and cursed the skies. How can this happen? Things are perfect all the time. He scurried and hurried, and he hid in his room, lying in solitude in line with the moon. If today was imperfect, will tomorrow be too? Only time will tell if tomorrow is blue.
Again, both the nominees in this category, on this occasion, from 2 different universities. The first one you saw, Mr. Perfect, from Matthew Swallow and the team from the Manchester Film School at the Manchester College. The judges said it was creative, well shot, with a rich voiceover, and the judges found that this film was well put together. The second finalist is Felix, which you saw from Ashley Collier at the University of Central Lancashire. Slightly bigger wound. A challenging short story which was brilliantly done, visually clever. One judge said it was a story with a heart and soul. They added that there was a lot packed into less than 2.5 minutes. Both those clips together were 1.5 minutes, so you probably had almost a quarter of the whole entry package from both those finalists. They were both outstanding. But the winner of the Royal Television Society North West Student Award for 2017 in short feature goes to Felix from Ashley College. They want to speak. Do you want to do a quick photograph of them? Are you going to satisfy the crowd with the speech? Okay. Well done, Andrew. Congratulations to Ashley, and let's also invite up Matthew from the Manchester Film School to come and receive him. It says Matthew and team, so team. Team. Hooray, well done. Congratulations, well done. Let's have a quick photo and then... We should have left the space room, shouldn't we? Thank you very much. Well done, congratulations. Well done to both the nominees in that category for short feature film. And that brings us to the final category this evening, which is drama. As we've already heard from our two guests, from Jack and Kieran from Coronation Street and Hollyoaks, the richness of drama that's made in the North West has been like that for generations, and I'm sure will be like that for generations to come as well. It's always the most hotly contested category in the event, in the North West Regional Awards. Let's have a look at the nominees.
Who can say no to the classic bonbons? Separated for flavour for your convenience. Of course. We have watermelon, strawberry, raspberry, cherry, banana.
Ew!
Wait a minute, what's wrong with banana?
Banana is rubbish.
What are you on about? Banana is the best.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Have you got any wine gums?
Not for you, I don't.
Oh, go on.
These are of the finest quality, one of a kind, these. You scare me sometimes, child.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Stop pissing around and just tell us.
Alright, we have to evict him from the ship.
Yeah.
If we don't, Iris will cut off our oxygen supply.
They'll kill us.
Well, without oxygen.
Okay, I'm sure you could.
No, you're bullshitting. They can't do that, can they? No. Do not take the piss, Iris. I swear to God.
Babe, calm down.
You calm down.
Nonsense, I don't believe it. It's beyond illegal.
Listen, I don't know you, and you don't know me, but this is all we got, and I'm asking you, human being to human being, don't do this. I can't speak on behalf of anyone else, but I've got to know you tonight. And I can visualise the man behind the phone. I can picture you and your wife and your kids. And it'll be such a waste for you to throw this away.
Wow. The judges did say that whittling down all the entries in this most popular of categories was a challenge. Those were the three that they chose. And they are split between the Manchester Film School at the Manchester College and the University of Central Lancashire. The three that we just saw on the screen, the first one was Happy Place from Jack Simpson, John Powell, Cameron Brown and Rachel Beardmore at UCLan. The judges said it was an intriguing entry that had many layers, which the judges found menacing in parts. They said it had an amazing set, a clever use of music, and that they were grabbed from the very opening. Secondly, there was Stars on Mars from James Oliver and the team at the Manchester Film School at the Manchester College. A clever entry, the judges said, which had them praising the acting, an outstanding set, some superb graphics work, and brilliant post-production too. The entry had a huge cast and crew, with praise also for the props and the costumes. And finally, as we just saw, Radio Silence from Dan Ollerhead, Paddy Alcock, Annie Stenhouse, Cameron Brown, Ash Betton and Alan Hullock from UCLan. This was a suspense-filled cracker that could easily be shown on primetime TV. The judges praised the excellent acting and the genuine tension that they created. Congratulations to all three who made it through to the final here tonight from this category. The judges, though, were overwhelmingly in agreement about the winner, and the Royal Television Society Northwest Student Award for 2017 for drama goes to Stars on Mars.
Well, I can stop banging on about a spaceship now. My friends are sick of me. But thank you very much. This was a massive project. About 60-odd students came together at the college across many different departments, from like the film course, 3D animation, broadcast TV, makeup artistry. So it was really humbling to for that many people to come together and give up their spare time. And the students that work, the students and the tutors that work beyond their contracted hours. If you see June Granger trying to steal this from me later, just give me a thought.
Well done to James Oliver and the team from the Manchester Film School. Let's get the students from UCLan up to pick up their certificates as well. Well done. That's radio silence. Well done, guys. Quick photo. Make sure you're see the camera. Really well done to the students from UCLan as well, and as I said, the judges were at pains to point out that the drama category was as hotly contested this year as in any year before. So well done to all our winners and nominees. As I said rather ineloquently at the beginning, just to be here is an amazing achievement. Some of you will go on to much bigger and better things. For some of you that haven't already been to Ibiza, you'll remember it as your first awards do, and hopefully you'll have fond memories of it. You may go on to the Oscars, the BAFTAs and far beyond, but really well done for being here tonight, because to get here, to get to a Royal, it's not called the Royal Television Society for nothing. It really is, the blue ribbon. So really well done for getting as far as you have. There will be some official photographs, I think, for the winners, and the winners somewhere outside. Where Rachel through there? Yeah. A little bit later on, there's lots of nice backings and everything else, and they'll be the ones that they'll want to put up all around the departments back at your places of learning. Before I go, on behalf of the RTS, we just need to thank a few people very quickly. The judges, of course. Those of you who are nominated who missed out will probably get not stuff then. But the judges all gave up their time for nothing. It takes, especially categories like drama, it takes a lot of commitment to sit down and watch every nomination, or every entry rather, and to give it a fair watch. The judges all did that, and they did it for nothing. So our thanks to them, to Rob Douglas-Reeves and Ross McAdam at Dot 10, the staff here at the Lowry, of course. Apparently Eric Cantona's on somewhere else in the building tonight, but obviously this is the place to be. Rachel, although Annabelle Tiffin, who I work with, as you probably know, came over here this evening and went straight off to watch Eric Cantona. I don't quite know what she sees in him, but anyway. Rachel Pinckney from the Northwest RTS, and of course to all the colleges, universities and students who entered the awards and to help make them such a success. Thank you all very much indeed. Really well done. Enjoy the rest of the evening, especially my friends over there who I suspect might be going out for a few beers. Well done. Let's have a quick look. We had a bit of a précis of some of the nominations at the start. I'm going to get off the stage. Richard's going to come back in a minute, but before he does, just have a look at some of those that didn't quite make it all the way. It's some of the best of the rest, and some of yours as well, of some outstanding entries for this year's Student RTS Northwest Awards. Have a good night.
Just a final few words then on what is always a really uplifting and inspiring night. I know you've put your hands together for him, but thank you to Roger, who's done a brilliant turn tonight. You know, all free of charge, all off his own back, all after he's already worked today doing a show on North West Tonight. So again, if you can put your hands together on behalf of the RTS. Just do me a favour and at 6:30 watch my show at 6:30 rather than his. But a couple of other very quick thank yous. Samuel Day, Liam Dobinson, Alex Saunders and Jay Rosansky have been involved in filming not just this evening's event but also streaming it live on Facebook. So please show your appreciation for them because they've been working hard. And an event like this, you know, ranging from just organising it, making sure you all know about it, organising the trophies, the certificates and everything else, doesn't go without somebody at the heart of it to organise it. So on behalf of myself, to Rachel Pinkney, who stood at the back with the blonde hair, so to say thank you to her on the way out. Rachel does a brilliant job on behalf of the RTS Northwest. So finally, as Roger mentioned, for those who won tonight, there is, delicately outside the toilets, but there we go. There is, we do want to take some official pictures that we'll be putting up on Facebook and on Twitter for you to share and to rip off and keep, etc. But they will be there, so please, for those who've won the 6 categories, can you form an orderly queue, particularly the last lot, who will no doubt be mob-handed, to have your pictures taken. And finally, just a quick plug for an event coming up, No Booing. Kay Burley will be here on March 23rd for an event talking about her career and her life. She did start in local radio and on the papers here, and Kay is a fantastic individual. She's got some great stories to tell. It is a brilliant event, and if you are interested in attending, then drop a line to Rachel and she will sort you out some tickets. On behalf of everybody at the RTS, thank you everybody for attending tonight. Thank you for making efforts to get here. Do travel home safely. Well done to all the winners. Brilliant work to the nominees. Congratulations, and see you all again this time next year. Thank you.